themes have a greater influence on people's thinking? Is it a book, a movie, or video games? I believe most people would probably choose a book or movie. And after all, games usually seen as entertainment. But while working on this project, I started to realize games are not just something we play. It can also be a way that have strong communication with ideas, emotions, and values. And through this project, I want to explore one important question. Can a game inspire people to create the future of our world? And that question becomes the foundation of my project. This project actually starts in my AI programming class. One day, my teacher told us, as long as you can make a game with code, you can make whatever you want. And that idea stayed in my mind. So after class, I keep experimenting, programming, and game design. I become interested at creating mechanics, adding features, and building worlds. Then I start thinking, what if game could do more than entertain people? What if game could make people think? And that is the moment I decided to combine SDGs and video games. There were three main goals through this project. First, I want people to understand the importances of SDGs. Second, I want to learn how to create complete 2D games. And third, I want to know how storytelling, UI design, and game mechanics influence players' emotions. Because when players emotionally connect with a story, they can remember it much more deeply. Many people already know that environmental problems exist. They know about pollutions, they know about the climate change, they know the earth is being damaged. But why they still feel disconnected with these problems? It's because they feel their actions were too small. They think, even if I change, the world will still stay the same. And I want to change that idea. Before I continue, I want to ask you guys imagine something. Imagine you live in the 50 years in the future, and the oceans are polluted, the forests are disappeared, and the air is hard to breathe. Now imagine someone tells you there was a chance to prevent this, but people thought their actions were too small to matter. How would you feel? That question becomes the one of starting point of my project. What makes games special is players do not just watch, they participate. So when players personally clean pollution, restore forests, and protect environment, they feel involved. And that feeling is much stronger than reading information from a textbook. This was my game, The Last Restorer of Earth. The game is called Reclaiming. The main character is a small robot called Orange Core. And what makes this robot special is it is made entirely from waste and broken human technology. Even though it's made from waste, it still becomes the one trying to save the Earth. And that represents another important idea from our project. Even something small and imperfect can still create change. Before showing the gameplay, I would like to explain how the game was structured. This game was built around restoration cycle. First, players will explore the damaged area, and they will gather the resources and they complete the recovery tasks. As they progress, new areas unlock, and the world genuinely changed. That was the one of most important decision choice in my project. I decided instead of using goals or rewards or scores, I decided that the environment itself becomes the feedback. When players see the forest is recovering, the oceans is become cleaner, and the environment is back to life again. Player can emotionally connect with these game message. Because the goal is not simply to win. My goal is to let player know that positive change is possible. And before I begin, when I started this project, I knew almost nothing about game engines and how game was developed. So, and I faced so many problems. There were spikes, there was unclear ideas, there was this design faults. But instead of giving up, I decided to start small. I create a small prototype and improve it step by step. I asked my classmates, my teachers, and AI tools for feedbacks, and which helps me to fix the bugs more quickly and effectively. And this experiment tells me that a great successful game development does not always become a great idea. It can also come from a small idea, but you keep develop it and continue improve it. And what I learned first I was very nervous about my project because it was uncompleted. And the game design and the game engine was completely hard, very hard for me. So I asked AI tools for how to use game engine. And finally, I become confident at creating game mechanics, building features, and building the world. And it's my game demo. I create a website. There is a small videos and some introductions from the website. And through this website, you can see the SDGs, and the story of my games, and the character. And press this button to start. There were 3 chapters. The first chapter is about cleaning the oceans. Here's an NPC, it's called AI Agent. It's a single AI in my project, like ChatGPT. You can talk with it, and it will give you a mission that you need to clean all the trash on the seaside. And here, when you're done this mission, you go to next chapter. Next chapter is about forest, and this forest has been damaged. And there is some monster because animals are being polluted. So we need to beat them to win this game. And when you complete these missions, you can go find the NPC. It will lead you to next chapter. Next chapter is about a power stations. And it's a nuclear power station, so there's more monsters. And when you've done the missions, it gives you a new message. And that was the mission. That mission is find humanity. And through this project was never about only about programming. This project was about a question. Can a game inspire people to care about the future of our world? I believe they can, because game can create powerful connections between players' emotions and game message. It can also create communication, ideas, emotions, and values. A game can make people feel responsibility. A game can create empathy. And sometimes a game can change the way people see the world. And before I finish, I want to explore one important idea. Is that this project sometimes will change from one small idea, one small person, and one actions. And for me, this project was my small actions. And before I finish, I want you guys to think one small thing you can do this week for the environment. Maybe you can bring a restorable bottle. Maybe you can restore the trash more clearly. Maybe you can learn about responsibility. And you don't need to tell anyone, just think of one thing. And I want to end it with this. A world does not change because powerful people. A world also changes by ordinary people who choose to care. Thank you, everyone.